Good afternoon, everybody. Very hot Sunday afternoon. Looks like it might rain by my house, actually. Switching it up today, taking a break from softball interviews, going back to soccer, my favorite sport. I have recently graduated Emma Harmon from Central Regional off an amazing couple of seasons over there at Central. Emma, thank you for taking time out today to talk to me
Yeah,
about.
thank you for having me.
So you graduate. How's it feel, to be done with high school?
It's good. I mean, it's bittersweet because I loved high school. I loved everything about it. The people, the place, the sports. It was a really good 4 years, but it's time to move on, I guess. So I'm very excited for college and starting, my college soccer career.
Now you're going to Lafayette. When do
hmm
you report for practice?
So I move in July 29th.
Okay, not too bad.
hmm
You can enjoy a little bit.
Yeah.
I was talking to a player that is finishing her career at Vanderbilt, and she has to move in July 1st, so she doesn't
hmm
really get to enjoy the New Jersey summer
Yeah.
so much. So let's go to, how old were you when you first started playing soccer?
When I first started, I was probably like 5 years old, I would say.
What was that? Just
Where
a local club team, rec team, or you're probably rec
Mhm.
team back then down at
Yeah,
the
yeah. It was just at Berkeley Soccer.
Berkeley Soccer. They
Mhm.
actually develop, their program has gotten pretty good. Just going, when my niece plays against them, pretty good
Mhm.
program now down there. When did you start playing club soccer?
When I played club, probably like 10 years old, 10 or 9 maybe I'd say.
Did you go straight to PDA, or were you on another team?
No, so I played for SJA, which they merged with Cedar Stars, so it's not a thing anymore, but it was SJA for a while, and then eventually I moved to PDA up north.
Okay. Okay. Did you play any other sports when you were growing up?
No, I was always soccer. I
Just
did cross country in middle school, but soccer was always the main focus.
okay. Cross country doesn't count. What was it about soccer that you just fell in love with it?
I just love like the competitiveness of it and like, the team aspect of it. And I always loved soccer, fell in love with the sport at a really early age. So I knew that's what I wanted to do in college. So I just stuck with it.
Who was your coach up at PDA North?
So I had Jonas Silk was my first coach. And then I had Larry Hart. And then Mike O'Neill was my coach for most of the time.
Mike O'Neill. How did
Mhm.
he, how did Coach O'Neill help you? Like, how do you think he improved your game?
Oh, he improved it so much. He like everything he did, the trainings that he would do, it's just like uncomparable to any other trainings I've ever had in my life. I think because he's the coach up at Rutgers, so he really like instilled like what we would be experiencing in college and brought that down to us at such an early age. So it really like it prepared me for so much, and I think everyone at PDA would agree with that. Just with the trainings and the way the team would present themselves, it would be like a college team, which was really great.
I was going to actually say, having a college coach is probably going to help you,
hmm
when you start in another month or so, and
Yeah,
uh,
definitely.
and not even just I mean the mental aspect, knowing what to expect.
hmm
It probably nothing's really going to catch you off guard where you're not going to be like, oh no, I didn't expect that. I'm not going to be able to do this. So
Yeah, yeah, and
so
I think that was like the best part of it, partly too, besides the team and everyone else. But it really like at first it was a big switch. It like because you go from just like regular trainings and then like when Mike came in it was like these like really intense trainings. It was just another level and you learned so much and how to like prepare mentally and physically. That was another big thing. We learned a lot about how to physically prepare ourselves for games and practices with Mike Olam at AP2T, and then we took classes through PDA with another coach about how to mentally prepare ourselves, so it really helped a lot just in all aspects.
yeah, I see that throughout the years that PDA does that, to help the kids prepare mentally and,
Hmm.
mental illness and, the mental aspect is becoming bigger and bigger where, a lot of these colleges or, hiring people just to help work with the athletes, which
Yeah.
is which is a plus.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's for sure, like as I've gotten older, like I've definitely, learned that it's a huge part of the game. I feel like when you're younger, you don't really realize that how big of a like part it plays in your game and your performance. And so I think for me that was another big thing that me and the rest of my team at PDA like kind of learned as we got older. So it was really good to have that.
Now, we'll talk about your senior year in a little bit, but that probably also helped, you had a month, you came on the scene junior year, had a very good junior year, and then one of the best players, not even in a shore in the state. I'm sure him helping you prepare because a lot more focus on you by opposing fans,
Hmm.
and so I'm sure that helped you. Maybe your own fans. I don't know, but I'm sure that all that helped you to get through these seasons, and it'll help you go into the next level.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Now, going into Central as a freshman, obviously you could be very nervous, especially, being an athlete. What goals did you set for yourself your freshman year?
Well, freshman year was definitely tricky because it was right after COVID.
Okay.
So it was definitely like,
I
everything was
forgot.
just so different because of like, COVID and like you had to wear masks and all that stuff and like you had to do everything in groups. But I think for me, I just knew that I wanted to prove myself as a player and as a person. And I think for me, because we were, all like the seniors and stuff, we all were on the freshman team together. And I knew since that year that going forward, my goal and all of our goals were to do something big in the upcoming years because we knew we could. And I think that I was so grateful to be with such a special group because that's like the group I was with is, not many teams get that. So I was very happy about that, and I think use that as fuel for the next few years to do something big.
Yeah, definitely a special group, first sectional title in school's
Hmm.
history and undefeated, unfortunately, until the short conference semis. Well,
Yeah.
um let's first of all, I just want the school aspect as far as when COVID. How did you handle that? Like, because so you were been in eighth grade one that spring, and so
Yeah.
how
Hmm.
did you handle that? Did you find it difficult where all of a sudden you're not going to class in school anymore? You're being schooled at home, or did you find the adjustment okay? Not too bad.
I mean, the adjustment itself, it was at first it was kind of like, whoa, like what's happening? But then like eventually you got used to it. I think after a while it just got annoying with like sports and stuff. Like you couldn't go to trainings without like wearing masks and all that stuff. Staying like 6 feet away from everyone like before practice would start, like doing everything in small groups. But I think after a while it was just like you just wanted to get back to normal, and that was the hardest part, I think.
Okay. Hang on one second. I'm just pulling up. I'm pulling up some info here. Okay. So yeah, it's tough to ask you questions freshman year because that year,
Hmm.
so many teams you got on the bus going to the game, and then you would find out somebody on the other team came in contact with COVID, and
Yeah.
but teams started turning around your sophomore year. You girls got back to 500, and
Mhm.
then for your junior year, a new coach, Mary Kate Sullivan came in. What was something that you knew right away from the first practice, something that was going to be different?
I think with MK, she brought this new mentality that we had never had before. It was very like family oriented, which I know everyone knows was a big theme, but I think she just brought in this like mentality of like that we were going to win. We were going to do what we could to win. And she knew we had a special group. I knew it. A lot of people knew it. And I think for her, it was probably a struggle to get people to realize that, but eventually, after a couple like important games, beating North for the first time in like it was like 10 years or something crazy like that, I think that's when it clicked in everyone's head that, we could do something really big. And that's when everyone started like, realizing that we could do something. And I think another thing that she brought in was it was very like family oriented. So everyone was super close, which in years past can't really say was the same thing. And every training was very good and prepared us for the games. And I think that was a big difference that really helped us improve.
There's a couple games I want to talk about for your junior
Mhm.
year. Now, you brought up Tom's River North. Um, what was the feeling after, you beat them during the regular season? Like, because obviously that, somebody like me who does just rankings and stuff like that was definitely an eye opener. It's like, all right,
Mhm.
this team, and then you girl, your team was. It wasn't just like, oh, one-off game. You girls kept the momentum going, and you had a pretty good season. So, what
Mhm.
was the reaction after that Tom's River North game?
I think, well, going into that game, everyone was really nervous because I think we knew we could beat them, but we were just like, we hadn't done it in a long time. So I think there was that doubt instilled in our brains. But when we beat them, I think it was Ariana who had the game winning goal that game with like how not a lot of time left, I remember. And I think after that, everyone was just like, okay, like we can do something really special with this group. And it really, like, without a doubt, changed the mentality of the team as a whole, I think. I think after that, everyone was like, all right, we come together now and like we can do something really special. So that game was definitely a big, big win for us.
The next game I want to talk to you about is, fortunately, not the outcome you wanted, but it was a very exciting game. It was one of the best games. I think I had as one of the top five games I was at that year. The Brick Memorial game. I
Oh,
know, I know, not
yeah,
the outcome, but how exciting is it to play in a game like that?
yeah.
Back and forth. A couple chances. You girls had definitely had a couple good chances, but just talk about the excitement. They go up 2-0, then you girls score three straight, and unfortunately they came back and scored two. But just talk about the excitement playing in a game like that.
Yeah, no, I think that was for me, like, out of, you know, the 3 years I was there at the time, I think that was the first game that was, like, really, like, the most exciting game that we had played in besides North, but it was crazy. I mean, the crowd was, like, nuts, and it was definitely very, like, eye-opening that game because, we came back from being down 2-0, I think, and, yeah, I think that game just proved that we could handle or stay with one of the top teams in the short conference. And um, Caruso, who's a great coach, he definitely did a great job that game. I thought they played really smart, and the outcome isn't what we wanted, but they played smart, and it was a good game both ways.
You might get mad for me saying this, but when I interviewed him after the game, he said I thought we had one of the best midfields, like total, like as a team,
Hmm.
and he just said that midfield was unbelievable. So talking about
Yeah,
Sam,
yeah,
a great midfield you had. So I know he was coaching in a game like that's really fun, but
yeah.
like you definitely opened their eyes, and I know he lost a lot of sleep before you girls before the game this past season,
Hmm.
leading up
Yeah.
to that game, and we'll talk about that how you girls were able to get them back this
Hmm.
season. The next game I want to talk about, Tom's River North again. What what was the message? Another exciting game, overtime game. What
Hmm.
was the message Coach Sullivan gave you girls? Because you beat them earlier in the season. Um, Tom's River North was definitely playing their better ball towards the end of the season. But what was the
Yeah.
message that she gave you before that state playoff game?
Before that game, she basically told us that she was like, "This is your season. Like, you guys have, proved yourselves. This is the best Central Soccer's probably played in however many years." And we had Hannah back then, so a bunch of Tia, a bunch of seniors that played a huge role for us. So I think for us as players, we want to do it for them, and she basically said that we had a really special group and that we could do a lot. And I think that was the motivation we needed. And we went out there and played for them, played for ourselves, played for everyone, in the stands, and did what we had to do.
And that's, getting the win on the road too.
Mm.
That's big.
Yeah.
Now a personal question for your junior year. What was something you really wanted to improve on when you went into your junior season? Because you're starting to become one of the leaders of your team when you become a junior. So what was something you wanted to improve on your junior season?
For like me individually,
Yeah.
I think I just, as a whole, wanted to be, the best leader I could be on the team, the best distributor I could be, the best finisher I could be, just so that I could play my role and help the team just be the best that we could be.
Now your senior year, team's coming off of a high of, really making an impact. What was the message coach gave you girls to start the season, right before the season's about to start?
Mhm. Before the season, I know she would talk to me and she would say like, "This is like this group is a really special group, and like we could do something big." And I know before the season, me and her would talk all the time, and we were like, "This is the year that we're gonna, do something big," and we did that. And I think me and MK knew it going into the season. We would say it all the time. We were like, we need to get everyone to realize that this is the year that we could do something big because of how special the group was, and we did exactly that. So
Yeah, I mean, first game, 6-2 against Lacey, who's,
hmm
they're always in the floating in the top 10. So,
yeah.
you made a big statement.
hmm
Were you a fan of the way they did the shore conference tournament with the group play, kind of like a World Cup style?
um I don't know, I thought it was weird that it started so early. I think that kind of threw everyone off because it was one of our, like, it might
Second
have been
game.
before Lacey. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
it
your second
was.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really early, and I don't think people, like, at the time really realized it was like, oh, this is a short conference game. So I think that was a little weird, but um, it worked out. We won, so
Yeah, and you had a good run too.
yeah.
So let's talk about the Brick Memorial game your senior year. 2-1. They went up 1-0, I think pretty early too.
Early,
So
yeah.
and then Ariana scored, and then I think Kaylee scored the game winner, I think.
Kaylee scored game winner.
So for and that game obviously was gonna determine a South winner.
A South, yep.
Yeah. So what was the message coach gave you and on the road again, which confused me
Yeah.
because you played them, and
Away, yeah.
it's funny because Coach Caruso that he had to play Toms River North at Toms River North like 3 straight years in a row. He said it didn't make sense
Yeah.
to him. So what was the message going into that game?
Well, I think going into that, we knew obviously that it was for A South, and I think everyone knew that it was just like we were like, okay, like this is our year. We're gonna start it off strong by winning A South before we head into short conference and states, and um, we knew we could win. We just knew we had to come out and play our game. And at first we started a little rocky, but we came back and Ariana scored, and then Kaylee got the game winner. And Berkeley Memorial is a very talented team, so I think going into that we were, a little nervous for that because they're very good, and we respect them and
And
Coach
they have a lot of
Caruso, and
seniors too. They had a lot of
yeah,
seniors too. So
yeah.
uh,
And we knew they had a strong midfield, so I think that was one thing. But we knew that me and Sam knew we were like, no, like we got it, and yeah. So
now playing in a South, Toms River North. I know kind of on the down run, but there's still Toms River North.
yeah,
Play Brick Memorial, play Jackson Memorial. You think playing those tough teams help prepare, you girls for that deep shore conference run you had and state
yeah.
runs?
No, 100%. I think there were a lot of games where in A South where we were either tied at half or down by one at half, and I think it really showed us that taught us how we would learn to come back from it, which, we would have to do in short conference. And I think playing tough teams really prepared us for our run in states, short conference. And, playing talented teams, it's hard, but, it teaches you a lot. And I think I'd rather play tough teams than just play, teams that you're just going to beat up on, because it teaches you more and prepares you for the real thing.
Now, I just want, Ariana, it seemed like when the postseason came, she had a knack from
Mhm.
getting all the big goals. You
Yeah.
know, how did her, being such a good goal scorer, Sam being such a good midfielder, how did those two make your job, a little bit easier?
Oh, they made it so much easier. I think without them, I wouldn't have half the success that I had, and same with goes for the rest of the team. They were, a huge part of everything, and I wouldn't want anyone else in the midfield with me, like Sam, and no one else playing striker for me. So I think that they were, like the mold. We were all like the mold in the center, and I wouldn't want anyone else playing next to me. So I'm very glad that I was lucky enough to have them.
Now, entering the Shore Conference tournament with, you girls were undefeated. Did you girls feel like a little more, nervous or, tense that,
Mhm.
obviously you would have the bullseye because you went into the Shore Conference. Were you what seed were you girls? The
I think
two?
two or
Two?
three. I think, yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, I think after you beat Wall, you moved to number one, right? In my rankings. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I think, yeah, because I think Manalapan beat
And
Freel
beat Trail.
Township, which
And
threw it off. Yeah.
and then they lost right after that to
Yeah.
Manasquan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was my jinx of whoever I put in.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I think definitely going to short conference, there was the pressure of one, we haven't been to, the semifinals of short conference in a very long time, which was, enough pressure as it is. And then I think in addition to that, we were undefeated at the time, I believe. So I think there was a lot of pressure of like, you don't want to get that first loss, especially in, such a big game. So I think that made the nerves 10 times worse than it needed to be. But it was a tough loss, but it definitely taught us a lot, and I'm glad that it taught us so much right before states and didn't happen in states, the loss. So yeah.
And that game, you girls, I don't know how many shots, especially in the second half. The Middletown South goal, Ali Greco, she played herself into one of my short conference teams because
Yeah.
she wasn't on any, going into that.
Hmm.
She and Erica that game too. She kept you girls in there with
Yeah,
a couple great
definitely.
saves. I think that was one
Hmm.
of her best games I saw her play. So it was
Yeah.
just a fun game. Just what how it goes if you can't get it.
Yeah. I
in
know it was rough. They definitely outplayed us in the first half, but the second
Yes.
half we had all the momentum and just couldn't put it in the back of the net. But
Yeah,
it's
that second half,
unlucky. Yeah.
and
Goalie played very good, so
that's how soccer
yeah.
goes. Now let's talk states real quick. How did first sectional title in school history? How did that to be you're part of that history of
Mhm.
bringing home the title?
Yeah, no, it actually was such a like surreal feeling. It was, one of like the best moments in high school, I think. It was just unreal when Ariana scored at we knew, we had just won the whole thing, and it was just such an unreal feeling, and especially for it to be at home, winning it at home, it was just made it 10 times better.
Was that a late goal too? Was that?
Yeah, there was 30 seconds left in the game when Ariana scored. Or probably
Yeah,
less. It was like 20 seconds, I think.
yeah. She had it all. She had the goal against Wall in the
Mhm.
overtime.
Yeah.
She just had the knack, and
Yeah.
I don't know much about Kingsway, but you girls played Cherokee too. Another
Mhm.
she had assistant in that game winner, but another
Yeah.
1-0 game.
Mhm.
Now Freehold, tough game. Um,
Yeah.
Freehold, first of all, everybody was healthy at the end of the season for Freehold, which is usually not the case for a majority of the teams.
Yeah. Mhm.
But tough, defeat. What was? coach's message after, after the game?
I think, that she basically told us that that game, didn't define anything from the rest of the season. And she was just so proud of us for everything that we had done, everything, all the obstacles we had overcome. Um, and I think that, that game didn't define everything that we did and all, the accomplishments that we had as a team. And, Freehold Township was a great team. They were very talented. A lot of my former teammates, like Ainsley and Cassidy, who I respect and love. So I think it was just like, we were just proud of ourselves for everything that we had done, especially being like the underdogs. No one really expected us to do anything, I think. And we did the opposite of that and made a name for ourselves. So I think she was just so proud of us for that. And yeah.
Last question for your high school career. What do you hope you pass down to the underclassmen?
Ooh, good question. Um, I would say that I hope, for the seniors leaving, I hope that we pass down like that winning mentality that we had, all the years that we were there. Like that spark that we all had. And I hope that all the underclassmen, they stay and like come together and realize that it's such a special program and that they can still do so much, even though we're not there anymore. So they can still be very successful.
Very good. All right. You ready for some rapid fire questions?
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show, I'd probably say The Office.
Okay. I don't hear that one too much, and it's a very popular show, so that's
Yeah, it
good.
is. Hmm.
How about favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I'd say 21 Jump Street. It's a funny movie.
I used to watch the show when I was a kid, when I was your age. Um, favorite food?
Pasta.
Okay. Favorite school subject?
Math.
What is your go-to song to get you focused or hyped up for a big game?
I actually I don't listen to music before games, so I can't answer that. I don't listen to music before games. I lock in with that music.
All right. Do you have a favorite musician or band or
um, hmm, say I'll go with Drake, I guess.
okay. Hmm. Yeah, I don't really have I mean, well, I guess Linkin Park's my favorite, but not really.
Yeah,
Um, did I ask favorite school subject? Did I ask that already?
yeah.
Okay. What is something you enjoy to do in your free time when you're not playing soccer?
I like working out and hanging out with my friends. Going to the beach too.
Okay. Um, do you, when your playing career is over, do you want to stay involved with soccer?
Oh yeah, definitely. For sure. Whether it's coaching or, something like that, definitely.
Okay. All right, let's talk about college and then we'll finish up. So you committed to
Okay.
Lafayette.
Yep.
What is it about Lafayette that you said, you were like, I could spend my next 4 or 5 years?
I think for me it was a bunch of different things. I think as soon as I stepped on campus, I fell in love with it, and then the coaches, Coach Mick and Coach Her, they were just so welcoming, and they had the kind of mentality that I was looking for in a program. And I think all the people there that I met, all the players, all the students, the faculty and staff, they were all just so great and so like welcoming, and I just fell in love with everything about it.
What do you want to study?
I'll be studying economics.
And and what do you want to do after college?
After, I'm not sure exactly, but probably something finance,
Finance.
business or finance. Yeah.
I know a couple St. Rose basketball players that are at Lafayette.
Oh,
One
nice,
one will be a senior, and another one will be a sophomore. I think
nice.
so. So yeah, they, the senior must. I mean, she spent all 4 years there, so
Yeah.
she
Hmm.
pretty good career there. So
Yeah.
all right, here's my last question. What
Okay.
advice would you give your younger self?
My younger self, I would say to stay confident but stay humble. And I think that if you, keep working for what you want, it'll eventually come to you if you work hard enough, and definitely just to stay open-minded to everything, and your time will come.
Okay. All right, Emma, thank you for taking time out today. I
Yep. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I think I want to do an interview with you or one of the other seniors just to talk, definitely talk about
Mhm.
how the impact you girls had on the program at Central Regional, and
Mhm.
hopefully they could keep that going. But
Yep, definitely.
I wish you luck in college. I'll definitely be
Thank
paying
you.
attention in the fall. The ESPN Plus package is the best thing during the fall season.
Yep.
So I have the Hulu, Disney, and ESPN Plus, and I don't even watch the other two.
Yeah.
So, but good luck and thank you for taking
Yep.
time out today to talk to me.
Yep. Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right, guys, thank you for joining me today. Tuesday, I have St. John Vianney softball coach Kim Lombardi McDougal joining me after their state championship and short conference championship. So, and be lookout for my first team all shore for softball. And then I am done until August with soccer. Thank you guys.